Are you running out of time to file your Texas state taxes? Look, don't stress. You can absolutely still secure more time with an extension. Let's dive right in to make this whole process stress-free and, honestly, pretty straightforward.
Welcome to This Explainer. I am so excited to guide you through this today. We all know that as that May 15th deadline creeps up, the anxiety levels for business owners can just absolutely skyrocket. It's like a ticking clock, right? But today, we are going to completely demystify the Texas state tax extension process. By the time we wrap up, you're going to have a crystal clear understanding of exactly what you need to do, when you need to do it, and most importantly, how to avoid some really costly mistakes.
So here is our quick roadmap for today. We'll hit Texas franchise tax basics, time to file, not pay, how to file an extension, tools for filing and paying, penalties for missing deadlines, and finally, a quick summary and final takeaways.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, Texas Franchise Tax Basics.
First things first, let's clear something up. Because of the Texas Constitution, the state is actually strictly prohibited from levying a personal income tax. I know, a lot of people get a bit confused by that. So when we talk about a Texas state tax extension here, we are not talking about your personal 1040s. We're talking exclusively about the Texas franchise tax. Basically, it's a privilege tax applied right at the entity level. Think of your LLCs, your partnerships, C corporations, S corporations, the whole shebang. And unlike your federal taxes, this one is computed on your business's gross margin rather than your net income.
Now check out this number. $2.47 million. That is the no tax due threshold for 2025 and 2026. And here is a massive misconception. People think, well, my business made less than that, so I can just ignore the May 15th deadline. No way! That is simply not true. Even if you fall completely under this threshold and literally owe $0 in franchise tax, you still have to file a no tax due report or you need to secure an extension. If you just sit back and do nothing, you are basically setting yourself up for some serious compliance headaches.
Moving right along to Section 2, time to file, not pay.
Okay, this is the absolute golden rule of the whole process. An extension gives you a really generous 6 extra months, all the way to November 15th, to get your final completed paperwork submitted. But, and this is a huge but, it gives you exactly 0 extra days to pay the actual money you owe. Your tax payment is still absolutely due on that original deadline of May 15th. Honestly, I cannot emphasize this enough. An extension of time to file is not an extension of time to pay. It buys you time for the paperwork, not for your wallet. So, because you have to pay your tax by May 15th, even if you are extending the actual paperwork part, the state gives you 2 safe harbor methods. These help you calculate your payment so your extension is actually considered valid. The first one is the 100% rule. It's pretty straightforward. You just pay 100% of the tax you reported as due on your prior year's franchise tax report. Simple, right? Well, actually, there's a catch. If your business is brand new and didn't file last year, or say you were part of a combined group report last year, but you aren't this year, you unfortunately cannot use this 100% option.
Which brings us to the second method. If you don't use the 100% rule, you're going to use the 90% rule. This means your extension payment has to be at least 90% of the tax that will ultimately be due when you do file that final report in November. But you might be wondering, what happens if I estimate wrong and end up owing more than I thought? Well, if that miscalculation drops your initial payment below that magical 90% mark, your whole extension basically becomes invalid. And yep, penalties are going to start applying to whatever amount you didn't pay. So you really want to be careful with those estimates.
All right, Section 3, how to file an extension. Let's break this down into a super simple 4-step action plan. First up, calculate the estimated tax you owe using those safe harbor rules we just talked about. Second, choose your payment method. Now, your method is strictly dictated by your payment amount, which we'll get to in a second. Third, you've got to actually submit your extension request by May 15th. You can either do this online through the state's web file system or by kicking it old school and mailing in Form 05164. Finally, step 4, just make sure you file your actual fully completed franchise tax report by that extended deadline of November 15th.
Oh, and a really quick nuance here for any businesses operating as a combined group. If that is you, listen up, because you can't just submit Form 05164 and call it a day. You've got an extra step. You must also submit Form 05165, which is the extension affiliate list. The only exception to this rule, according to the comptroller's instructions anyway, is for mandatory electronic fund transfer payers who are requesting a second extension. They get a pass and don't need to resubmit that affiliate list.
Next up, Section 4, Tools for Filing and Paying.
Okay, so remember when I said your payment amount dictates your filing method? Here's how that works. If you paid less than $10,000 in franchise taxes during the preceding state fiscal year, you've got options. You can use the online web file portal, or you can mail in that physical Form 05164 with a good old-fashioned check. But if you hit that $10,000 mark or anywhere up to just under $500,000, Texas legally mandates that you pay electronically via web file using electronic funds transfer, or EFT. And what if you are a massive business that paid $500,000 or more? At that scale, you are absolutely required to use the state's TextNet system. Plus, you specifically have to use tax type payment code 1380 just for a franchise tax extension. It's a small detail, but an absolutely crucial one.
Okay, let's look at Section 5, penalties for missing deadlines. Nobody likes this part, but we have to talk about what happens if things go wrong. If you completely fail to file your extension or your actual report, you're getting hit with an immediate 5% failure to file penalty right out of the gate. And if you drag your feet and you're over 30 days late, boom, that penalty doubles to 10%. On top of all that, if you fail to pay the actual tax you owe, or remember those 90 and 100% safe harbors, if you miss those, you get slapped with a 5% failure to pay penalty for every single month you're late. That one caps out at a whopping 25%. So yeah, doing nothing and just ignoring this, it compounds into massive debt incredibly fast.
Let's wrap things up with Section 6, Summary and Final Takeaways.
All right, let's visually lock in this timeline so you know exactly when your obligations fall due. May 15th. Write it down, circle it in red. That is your original deadline. It's when your paperwork is due or when your extension request and your safe harbor payment are due. Then, looking ahead, November 15th is your ultimate finish line. That's when your extended paperwork absolutely must be filed. Oh, and there is one special little rule right in the middle there. If your business happens to lose nexus with Texas, which basically means you completely close down or leave the state entirely, your final report and your payment are actually due within 60 days of that event happening. Keep that in mind just in case.
Now, before we go, I do need to give a brief but really vital reminder. While this explainer covers the state's extension framework directly from the official comptroller's sources, tax laws can and do change, sometimes pretty frequently. Plus, every individual tax situation is totally unique. So please always consult a licensed CPA or an enrolled agent to get personalized, professional advice specifically tailored for your business.
So I want to leave you with this final thought. Are you ready to confidently tackle your Texas tax deadline? Honestly, you should be. You've got the timeline down, you completely understand those tricky safe harbor rules, and you know exactly which tools you need to use. The stress of May 15th absolutely doesn't have to hold you back anymore. Take action today, get that extension filed, and give your business the breathing room it deserves. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and happy filing.